Good evening, everyone. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing in honor of those serving in the military. Great, thank you. Yeah. Thank you everyone for coming tonight. I'd like to start the meeting by swearing in a new trustee. Is it Jody or Joseph? What do you want?
Tonight,
You want Joseph tonight?
for 5 minutes and then we'll go right to Jody.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. All right. Bible, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Joseph A. McNulty III,
Joseph A. McNulty III,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Code of the Village of Brightwaters,
the Code of the Village of Brightwaters,
and that I will discharge the duties of trustee
and faithfully discharge the duties of trustees
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Excellent. Thank you.
Since Jody has taken over Tom's spot, Tom used to represent the village in all of our 5K runs and the cross-bay swim, so from now on, we expect Jody to take Tom's place and run and swim those events. Thank you. We appreciate it. Welcome to the board. Congratulations to Trustee Clausen, who also was reelected. Does he get sworn in or just a wave from the judge? A wave?
Very fine. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for the honor.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you very much, Judge.
All right,
Thank you.
this is the organizational meeting where we make all of our appointments. Everyone who came in, they should have received this list of things in the back. I'm not going to read through it at all, but make a motion to appoint all those included in standard resolutions and appointments. Do I have a second? Second. All those in favor? Suffolk County Police, please come up. Thank you for coming tonight. I don't know if you guys realize, but we started with the new overnight from 11 to 5. We have pro protection. It's either all retired or existing police officers. So we're hoping to have like a better working relationship with you guys overnight, and we look forward to that being successful. So that works. Bill, did you have questions on the report?
Yeah, if we could just go over these, the incidents that we had in June, and you could just give us a breakdown of what they were. Did you have the?
Yes, I have.
All right.
You guys.
Yeah, if you can tell us what happened.
The first one I have here, I have an incident that happened on Howells Road. A driver was found intoxicated and he was arrested. The next one I have is identity theft crime. The person had tried mailing out her mortgage checks and other type of checks. And it might have happened at the postal office. It might have happened after it was delivered with someone took the checks, forged them, and cashed them out for an amount. And that's still an ongoing investigation.
Gotcha.
That doesn't show, it shows on Orinoco, that just means where it happened, but not the person where their address living in Brightwaters.
Would you mind speaking up just a little bit, please?
No problem.
Thanks.
That's the address to the post office.
Okay. Makes sense. All right.
The next one I had was a domestic crime. Both parties, it was a harassment, so verbal dispute, and it just ended up being both parties agreed to these charges, go about their separate ways. I don't have the incident report for the next one. It was a larceny offense. That's still an ongoing investigation.
So you don't know what?
No, I wasn't provided with the report for that one.
Yeah, that was
But it's still an ongoing.
That was the most interesting one on there.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
But it seems like it was, again, another fraud crime. Took, from what I see here, we exceeded over $3,000
Yeah.
that he got away with. And it's still an ongoing investigation.
All right. Fair enough.
Any other questions from the board? Any questions from the residents to the officer? Okay, great. Thank you for your help.
Thank you very much for coming. Have a great night.
Be safe out there. Okay, make a motion to approve the previous board minutes of June 2nd, 2025. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, reports of the mayor and the trustees. Deputy Mayor Fawcett.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, appreciate it. Good evening, everybody. Well, welcome to summer 2.0. We got a lot going around the village. Our DPW guys are continuing to maintain our village. One of the things you can see, maybe you just don't pick up on it, when you drive around our streets, there's no trash on the roads. You go outside of our town, there is trash on the roads. That's because our guys are going around every day after trash day, and during the week picking up trash, picking up sticks, branches, clearing the roads, make sure it's clean. You see the Chris faces in the audience tonight. We have about 72 tons of weeds coming out of the lake so far. We've also completed some projects around the village. We had the bridges painted, the cascade repainted, general maintenance like that. And also, you gotta remember, we have five full-time guys, and they do get vacation days. So there are days that we are very, very short-staffed. Mike likes to take a vacation bill. I told him he wasn't allowed until October, but he did anyway. And when we have holidays, we do have people coming in to clear the garbage cans. One of the things you're going to start to see, and it's going to become very apparent in the next month or so, is that we have a lot of residents from Bayshore that come into the village that dump their garbage in our garbage cans, and we pick it up. So, just be aware of that. We also increased the hours down at the Walker Beach because we had a lot of non-residents going down there without passes after 5 o'clock, so our lifeguards aren't out until 7:30. So we're just trying to make sure that the quality of life in the village is maintained to the level that we've all become accustomed to. And a lot of that happens because of what the guys at DPW do. So thanks, Mike, for everybody, and thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, great. Trustee Bennett?
As we mentioned to the officer, Pro Protection has been working now for 2 weeks in the village between 11 p.m. and 5 a.m. We've gotten to see their GPS, and they've been giving us reports every day. It seems to be going great. They're doing very detailed patrols, and no significant criminal activity has been witnessed on their end, but they're out there. Our traffic study has been received, and the board is reviewing the data, and we'll be working with Green and Peterson Incorporated on solutions for our traffic issues in the village. And you'll see on the agenda that 2 more stop signs have been proposed for Orinoco.
And just a reminder, on that report, we sent it out, email and Facebook, but there are 5,000 cars that go in North Windsor every day. That number seems staggering, but that's the numbers that they had, and it actually matches from 1989, the last time it was done. Orinoco, from Windsor going west, 4,000 cars go on every day. So the reason, one of their suggestions is adding stop signs on Orinoco so that people aren't dive bombing into town. So we're going to go through, we don't have the final report, we just got the preliminary report the other day. So we're just going to keep feeding some information out to the residents. And every month, hopefully, there's something that's going to be put out to improve the quality of life from the drivers and all. So again, we'll put out one main flyer probably eventually, but right now we're just digesting the information. But great, thanks, Bill. Trustee Del Vecchio?
Events in July. Specifically, we have on Monday nights volleyball. Thursday nights we have family fun nights down at Walker Beach. And we do have an upcoming cocktails on the canal, which I'm sure.
Well, it's just August 1st. We're going to be sending out a flyer on that also. We had on the top of the canal, we've had anywhere from 250 to 350 people there. It's Friday night, 6 to 9. It's nice, it's close. You get to see your neighbors, and it's just a nice way to get around without having people at your house. So it's $50 a head. We lowered the price. We're not gearing it toward any specific fundraising this year. We're just covering the cost with that. So we're going to start promoting that more as it, probably next week. All right? Great. Thanks, Mary. Do you want to give a 20-minute dissertation on the village? What do you want to do?
I just got here, Mr. Mayor. I'll be up to speed.
Okay, great. All right, thank you, and welcome. So as far as my report, today was the first day of camp. Anybody going by Mississippi Park today saw it. We have 105 kids in camp. It's the first day. It was raining a little bit. People were outside. They're getting organized. Maria, who's a village resident who runs the camp, does a phenomenal job. So we just want to wish her luck for the season. It's 4 weeks to the month of July. I also want to mention tomorrow night at 5 o'clock at the Cascade on the lakes, the Historical Society and the Art Council are having an event where they have, I think, 10 or 12 artists there going to be drawing pictures of the lakes. There's going to be some kind of snacks there, a little music. So if you're in the area, you can walk, take your bicycle. That's from 5 to 7:30. We had mentioned the traffic study. Also, we're beginning on the cycle of the 250th anniversary of the country. I'm going to be having a meeting shortly with the Art Council and some of the other groups, and then we're going to reach out to the residents to get them involved in it. So again, we have plenty of time, but we are starting to look ahead for that. I'm not sure it was this month or last month, but the father swan died in the lakes. I don't know if everybody saw that. He's been there for 20 years in the lakes, and apparently he died of natural causes. Not a fish hook, not a string or anything, and that was a good thing, I guess. But we still are having issues with the fishing in the lakes. Chris, on the We Do boat, every day has to clean the propellers from all the fishing line that's been in the lakes. I guess a good thing about the boat is it is cleaning the lakes out of the fishing line, but it is amazing on how much we've been taking out. That's all I have for now. Okay, the next thing on the agenda, again, I mentioned about these stop signs on Orinoco. Anybody who's gone into Mamasini parking lot and tried to get out, it's brutal sometimes. So at that corner there, we're looking to do east and west on Orinoco, and up the block, east and west by the beer distributor. That way we feel everybody coming in, they can slow down so that pedestrians have half a chance. So I'd like to make a call for a public hearing on local law 5-2025 to amend 119-4 stop sign designation, stop sign intersection designated. The proposed section shall be added to 119-4 as follows. Orinoco Drive, Peters Boulevard, stop sign traffic east and west on Orinoco. Orinoco Drive and Peters, stop sign, Potter, Peters, the traffic east and westbound on Orinoco. Make a motion for the public hearing. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The public hearing is set for next month.
August 4th, yeah.
Yep.
That's how we're
Okay. All right. The next thing is anybody who lived on all the service roads, saw that we had passed, finished them last year, but the guys were there about a month ago, and all the service roads were completed. We did order 2 speed humps for the service road that comes north from Montauk Highway between Brightwaters and Bayshore. On that straight run there, we ordered a couple of speed humps, and we're going to try them out there. Again, they're not bumps, they're humps, so hopefully, I think they just came in, Mike. So when we get time, we'll put those 2 in. All right, and just see what happens. So permission to pay Suffolk Paving Corporation for road paving program 2025, $292,034 from the capital account, portion paid by National Grid, and the other portion to be reimbursed through New York CHIPS program. Make a motion to pay. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The next thing, we received a petition from about 60 residents asking that the parcel of land at the end of Concourse West be named in honor of the right of Al. It's Al, right? Al and Neil Rising. We're not sure what you want to call the Al and Neil Rising overlooked or not, but the purpose of the discussion now is, let's discuss it. Peter, would you like to present this to us, please?
Sure. First of all, I'd like to thank the board for taking the matter up. The purpose of the proposal is to memorialize my parents' 100-year involvement on the canal and recognize all that they've done for the canal area over their lifetimes. Additionally, you did mention that the petition was received, I think it was about 65 names. Basically, I'm here to answer any questions that the board might have. We propose that we would name and the family would pay for a plaque and bench if appropriate to be placed on the site so that people could observe the bay and the canal. It's a unique piece of property. It has good public access, which is important for people like myself that have a poor knee, can't ambulate too well over rough ground. Also for disabled people to make access to go down and spend a few minutes to appreciate one of the best views in the entire village. So if you have questions, I'm here to do what I can to offer.
Last year when this came up, Peter had mentioned it to me, and I said if he could please get a petition to support it. He did what I had asked him to do, so does anybody on the board have any questions?
Mr. Rising, if you could just describe your family's contribution for those who may not be familiar.
Okay. Well, started out with my father was a harbor master for the majority of the 80s and the 90s. My mother paid for the flagpole that's at the head of the harbor. She also paid for various supplies associated with the flagpole. She paid for the decorations, Christmas decorations that were put up on the gazebos. They are gazebos, yes.
Pagodas?
No.
Next
Anyway,
meeting. Go ahead.
The family has had members, myself included, on the zoning board, the planning board. My mother's did an awful lot to include such major things as putting little platforms out so that the mallard ducks, when they're young, could survive. Basically, it's been the center of the Rising family for over 100 years. And I just thought it might be something worth recognizing their efforts.
Anybody else on the board? Any questions? Anybody in the audience have any questions for Mr. Rising?
I was just wondering, isn't there a plaque there now for the Atkinson family still?
Not to my knowledge.
No,
We're talking about that.
Yeah, we're talking at the end of Concourse West,
Yes.
not the top of the canal. Top of the canal, in theory, it's Ackerson Plaza, so. Chris?
First, thanks for your family's help. Just, when we do something like this, does this go on our map?
We're not making it parkland.
That's
In order to change something to parkland, there's a lot more involved in it. Charlie's happy because it pays for a kid's tuition for a semester. No, there's a lot more involved. So we're naming the area, we're not changing it to parkland. So right now, on all of our village surveys, that shows as a road, the road down, if you go down Concourse West, that shows as a road all the way going down to the end. That's what all of our surveys showed, but for some reason, they never developed that. Okay. Any more questions for Mr. Rising?
Quick question about the gate that's in front of it now. Will this have any effect on moving that, removing that, keeping it open more?
Well, I think the problem is we're in the transition from going to pro protection from our regular overnight guys, so we just have to get our act together a little bit better on when it's open. Right now, we're saying it's open from dawn to dusk, so, you know, that's what we're, right now, as far as I'm concerned, that's what we're saying. Any more questions?
So the question is just a plaque for the Rising family? That's what we're looking for?
Yeah.
Well, you
Alan
mentioned-
Neal Rising, Bay Overlook, or Overlook, something like that.
You mentioned the bench too, Peter.
Oh, yeah, I did mention the bench.
Okay.
But where would the bench go?
Anywhere as the village advises it should go.
I recommend that around our church myself.
Okay. Well,
I'd be more than happy to pay for it.
Negotiations.
I'm open to suggestions. All I'm saying is that the family. Yeah.
Any more questions for Mr. Rising? Thank you. Anybody else like to come up and speak about this proposal? You guys want
I think you gotta give everybody.
to? Okay. Okay. All right, that's fine. We're taking all this under advisement. If anybody else has anything else, please email or send it to us. We've done our research on the property also, and we're happy to share that with people. So we're not going to vote on it tonight. We'll give people a little time, and then we'll put it on for voting on the August meeting. Okay? All right, next thing. All right, the next thing is permission to hire. What we're doing, the next item on there, since Mike is only 5 people, the bigger pieces of property in the village, like Gilbert Park, the parcels of land across from the library and Walker Beach, we're subbing that out for the summer. And it works out real well because the bigger landscapers come with the big equipment and a lot of guys, and they blow it right out. So, permission to hire Brightwater's Landscaping to provide landscaping services at Gilbert Park, Walker Beach, Windsor Avenue, Montauk Highway lots, $1,500 bi-weekly, not to exceed $12,000. I make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? All right. Next thing on the agenda, the budget modifications. Since the propositions were not passed, we had $15,000 in the budget for compensation, so we're just going to move that item into public safety. So decrease of expense legislator, VOT personnel service from $15,000 to $0. Increase expense for public safety from $103,285 to $123,942. Make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed? Oh, I'm sorry.
A question.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
I'm in favor of decreasing, moving to 15,000, but, forgive me, I just got it, but, the Pinkertons, or whatever they call it, security.
Pro Protect.
Pro protection. It's only been here about 3 weeks?
2.
2 weeks.
Yeah, we changed their time from 12 to 5, so we added an hour to 11. So that way there's a changeover between the afternoon guy, the 4 to 12 guy, and him. So that there and there when the bars are closing and there's people in town. So it doesn't per se go to them directly. It's just going in that budget line.
Well, you know, they give 2 weeks, and we're giving them $20,000 for that extra hour. My point is, you know, we go back 90 days and they say, we got a problem, this is how we fix it. But 2 weeks to do this, I think it's a little early. That's my opinion, and that's what I don't think it's, I think we should wait, is my question, is my.
Well, if 6 months from now we find out they're not working out,
Right?
then they're gone. So, you know, then we,
I don't know, just $20,000 is a big chunk of change.
oh yeah, it's 15. Yeah.
15,000.
Well, 15,000 is going into that budget, it's not necessarily.
If
we don't end up sticking with pro protection,
Right.
then it's in the budget.
But you're adding another hour.
We're adding the other hour because
That
of the time.
15,000 would be applied to that extra hour.
Over the course of the year, yeah.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, we didn't want to give them,
I just think you're out of the gate too fast with that, that's all. You know, I would.
yeah, our discussions with them, one of our final discussions, when we had them down from 12 to 5, is that generally 11 to 12 is when the downtown, when the bars are closing, when there's people. So the thought was to make sure they were on duty during that time. So that's where it added from the budget. So again, it could be, if it 6 months from now it's not working out, then we get rid of it. So
Well, the modification approved 3 to 2.
yes, I'm sorry. Okay, treasurer's report. Everybody gets a copy of the major expenses and all. Make a motion to approve the treasurer's report and abstracts. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Before I open up to the public, does anybody on the board have anything else to share? Okay. All right, make a motion to open to the public. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right, anybody from the public would like to say anything? Peter?
Yeah, I noticed living on the canal that in the last month or so, as they get more traffic down there are many more incidents of one, speeding, significant speeding, and 2, going through stop signs. That it's almost, I've seen 3 stop signs avoided by one person. I'm pointing that out only.
No, 100%, that's an issue throughout the village.
And it's more of a problem because of all the traffic we have, not only just car traffic, contractors, kids, bikes, and people walking. The concourse is the public works.
Absolutely, and that's an issue throughout the village that we've been, we've spoken to Suffolk County Police and basically begged them to come and, sit in the village and give stop sign tickets. They're understaffed as well, and they have other places they need to be.
I'm just mentioning it
No,
because it's a serious, you'll have to wait until somebody's hurt.
It's terrible. I mean, my personal opinion is speed bumps all the way down the canal. People won't be doing 60 miles an hour, I promise.
Just forcing the south.
No, that's right. When we did the traffic study, we took care of the north first because if we did a traffic study of the whole village, there would be so much information, nothing would get done. So we're trying to go our baby steps with the north side first, but we definitely want to continue that way.
Yeah, for the next few months, the amount of activity down there is.
Even the amount of people walking in the middle of the road.
Little kids riding bikes in the middle of the road.
No, it's not. Again, it's nice that they feel comfortable doing that, and it's great that in the village everybody wants to walk in the middle of the road because they can. But there's speeders, and again, I wouldn't just blame it on the landscapers and outsiders.
I'm pointing out, what about people who have these skateboards, motorized skateboards there, come down, they're doing 30, 40 miles an hour.
That's an issue there. That's an issue. We can't do anything to them because it's a moving violation, okay? I have a couple of pictures. Last week, a kid was in Mississippi Park, shooting all over the place. He was probably 12, 13 years old. Once he gets on, and then he goes on the road, and he goes shooting down to by Brooklyn Boulevard. So, in the middle of the road. So, that's a police issue. Maybe we should have peppered this guy a little more when he was here, and he just would have rolled his eyes and said, we're not doing anything.
We've been going
That's
as
their
a
job.
We've been going as a board to the Suffolk County meetings, the Suffolk County Police Department having meetings, and it is something that we bring to their attention, and we're basically told that they don't have the manpower to be patrolling our streets for stop signs.
But they're not going over motorized bikes anywhere because their fear of hurting a
Well, you
rider.
can't chase them. Are you saying like the little motorbikes?
Yeah.
I think he said anything that goes over 30 miles an hour.
Yeah. They have a task force. They did say they have a task force that specifically goes after
Address that.
It's frustrating. I mean, we could, again, this gentleman who's here, they just sent him here to be the sacrificial lamb. He really doesn't know anything.
No,
Well, we've been to the 3rd precinct meetings, and we're not treated well because we ask questions and we want to steer things. And we were told there's no real problem with right waters and proceeds, and and once we start talking, they don't treat us great. So
Expressing your concern.
no,
and it's appreciated.
Unfortunately, Peter, the reality is a lot of people that are going through the stop signs are Belleville residents.
I know that.
I follow them to their houses sometimes, knock on their door. I have a special needs son that you know about, and I'm scared to death every time he goes out of that driveway on the street. But the reality is that not only that, we have kids in this village who have these e-bikes who are doing 30 with no helmets on. Eventually something bad is going to happen.
Absolutely.
And I've seen a lot of cases where that's almost happened, where someone's coming off their boat, they may have had a beer or two, they kind of wobble into the road while somebody's flying down the road. Bad things are going to happen, but it's unfortunate. It's not just on Canal, it's all through Brightwoods, it's on Orinoco, it's until somebody's enforcing it and writing tickets, it's going to continue.
It's bad up along the lakes, and those roads are narrow and kind of twisted.
Everything seems motorized now too. They have the stand-up things. I see little 7 and 8-year-olds on these little bikes and things, and again, we're within it. One day, someone's going to get killed.
I see one of the residents on Concourse West every morning go right through the stop sign. On Concourse East, when I'm sitting in my front room, goes right through the stop signs.
You see the black pickup that went down.
I'm not going to call anybody out, but I see a couple of neighbors who just do not stop at those stop signs that live on Concourse East, because I'm looking for us. So, yeah, it's unfortunate.
Anybody else?
Rich, they have they have a litany, but first I'd like to say that Chris is doing a great job cleaning out the weeds, but the guys who pick up the garbage and put it into their trucks don't get credit, so Mike, your guys should get a little boost because they're there supporting that. He's having too much fun. You're doing that.
You could make some money, by the way, to the village by allowing people like the residents to operate the boat.
Nicole won't let you. But we do have to work on our loading zones and clean them up a little bit better.
But the guys don't get any credit for it when they do that. The second thing is, you've heard my litany about speed humps. I'm glad we're getting a couple. We probably need 50, but we're getting a couple. Next one is, I really want the village to put in noise ordinances on 2-cycle weed blowers. Electric commercial ones are now available that will run the whole day, so that the argument that they have range anxiety or whatever it is gone. They ran anywhere from $600 to $2,000. They're backpacked. They put the batteries on the backpack, and the guy just has the blower. That solves the whole problem. These guys' argument against that is BS anymore.
Well, if they come back and say that everyone's lawn went up $20 a piece.
But my hearing is going up $20 a piece. You're going to make me deaf from all these things.
They're going here.
That is a cost. You're passing the cost from someone who wants to save $20 onto the neighbors whose life is being ruined. So that's, I don't buy that one.
It's still July, we can still look into that.
If you want to do it for next year, you got to put it in now because they're going to say, oh, it's too late, blah, blah, blah. So you really need to put it on now.
Again, we have 120 licensed and insured landscapers in the village, so,
That's why you got to do it now.
yeah, okay.
Wait,
Poison ivy, you didn't say poison.
next one is poison ivy. Have you contacted them?
Yeah, we got a budget of $20,000 to do poison ivy.
Backlash.
Yeah, that was the guy who did it initially, he had all the maps, we're trying to get another price now, so. He does it, he has a 3-year guarantee, so we used him the first time, and it was close to $40,000 because it hadn't been done in 40 years. This time he came back and said $20,000, but we're gonna get another price or two, and that's it.
And the last thing is, I mentioned that they sell these your speed is signs
Yeah.
that are relatively inexpensive. Can the village just put a few of those around? I've seen them elsewhere on Long Island, and I think they're not terribly effective, but better than nothing.
We'll shop around for some of these.
They're about $2,000 a piece.
Yeah, one of our complaints in the village is that we have too many signs, of course, so if we start putting these signs up everywhere, then
No, you put
Not
it right.
everywhere.
You put it right with the speed sign. You know, where it says speed 25 miles an hour, you put it right there.
All right, we can look into that. Right, thank you. John?
I just have one question. The village has showed a lot of concern over safety in the village. Now, you had mentioned something a little while ago, maybe I missed it wrong, you said that the police said they have other things to do when they're down on manpower. When you contact them and say, what are they actually saying? I don't think they would come and tell you that we have other things to do. I'd like to know exactly what they're telling you, because it's not outsiders doing it.
They're saying they
residents doing
they
it.
only have a certain amount of cars assigned to the third precinct.
Excuse me?
They only have a certain amount of cars assigned to the third precinct.
You have one car for this village,
Yes.
all the time. It's surrounded by cars. I was a police officer for 35 years in this
Yeah.
precinct here. For them to say they have other things to do is bullshit, I'll tell you right off the
So
phone.
what's-
Let them
We
get
have
down
one
here and do
car,
their job.
we have one car, but it's not in the village.
Yeah, they run 30 cars out of that precinct. They run cold cars out of there. We have traffic units on the Sunrise all over. And for them to say that they don't have the manpower, I don't buy it.
No, if this gentleman who left here just now, I'll bet you dinner that it's not in the village right now. Because when they say one car is assigned to the village, they're not here all the time. They're not here. They're not
Well,
here.
I'll be honest with you, if you do super enforcement in the village, the residents aren't going to be happy.
Yeah. We do what?
You know it, because you know who's going to get you summoned.
Yeah, that's right. They sit on Windsor Ave, North Windsor every now and then and just clock off their whole month's quota.
But I had asked before, and they said you couldn't do it every month. Find out, ask them, how many speeding tickets were issued in this village? How many traffic sign tickets granted in this village? And see if they're actually doing their job.
Yeah, that's a great idea. But what we got out of it was basically the car that's assigned here. Now you have a crime up north, and now that car has to move up in order to cover that car that's dealing with that. So it's consistently crime outside of the village that's taking our car away from our area.
I know how it works. There's cars all around here. And I don't care if that Whitewater's coffee locks up a drunk driver's out for 3 hours. You're going to get your calls answered right away here. There's cars 23, 14, 15, you got 20, all the West Cycle cars. They're all around here.
But John, what calls do we get?
Excuse
We
me?
don't get calls.
I'm just saying.
One of
that-
our biggest issues is when people, if they do get people go into their cars and rifle through their open cars, they don't report it. So then when we're sitting there telling them there's an issue, they're telling us, show us the numbers.
We solve the problem. Let's just see how many summonses for speeding and stop signs are issued in the village.
The speeding
When
one,
are you going to
I would
find out
bet,
that there's been 15 of them?
I would
I
bet-
can go in 8 hours, I'll find 100 stop signs that have been run in this village that haven't stopped problem. Yeah.
the speeding.
I mean, it's a big safety thing. I have grandchildren who walk these streets, we all do. We have people who use these cars, and like I say, it's got to the point where it's getting ridiculous. My feeling means nothing, I'm just expressing myself.
Yeah, according to this traffic study thing that we just did, the traffic's actually slower than it was in 1989.
It just upsets me if they tell you that they don't have the manpower to do it.
No, they don't have the manpower, and I would bet they didn't give.
They've actually told
I
me
would
that.
bet they gave 0 speeding tickets in the village last month, and the month before. The only thing they do, because apparently there's people only trained to do that, not everybody's trained to give a speeding ticket. So they'll do the stop signs, because that's easy, that's right in front of them, but the speeding, I would bet they've given none. And if you'd like to come to the next 3rd precinct meeting at the Bay Shore Library and be treated like crap like we are, then you're more than happy to come with us. And you tell them you're a police officer. You'll be surprised at how...
I just have a problem because the only person who people have done anything is it's the village. And all we've ever gotten from anybody else is excuses.
Again, we're gonna call you, we're gonna pick you up, John. It's not good. We don't go, they have the first Tuesday meeting in different spots. They have it in Brentwood Library, they have it in Central Islip somewhere, and they have it at the Bay Shore Library. When we had it at the Bay Shore Library, half the meeting was talked about the rest of the precinct. So when I asked them, if you're in the Bay Shore area, why don't we just talk about Bay Shore? And their thing to me was, oh, this is a precinct meeting, not just about Bay Shore.
Have these meetings done any good? Has there been any action from these meetings?
Crime was down in Bay Shore last time, except for the 4 people who got killed. That's what they tell us. In a straight face, that's what they tell us. All crime is down, except for people dying.
And they're not talking.
The concerns for this
We
village.
sit there, and it's just, you know, again, I don't have any patience for it.
You can't say the concerns for this village, you can't give an excuse for not doing it in this village because they're doing it in somebody else's village. You know what I'm saying?
No, really.
They should have-
Our concern is here. So we're not going to go up to Brentwood meeting. We're not going to go to Central Islip meeting. We're going to go when it's at the library. Now, when it's at the library, we put it out to the residents, and that's where it is, because they make 0 effort in promoting these meetings. They have it on their website. So who's going to find it on their website? So at the last meeting, we put it out on our emails and Facebook for residents to come. If the residents don't come, then it's a waste of time. There's 10 cops. When we go to those meetings, there's 10 guys there. It's such a waste of time, you die.
If you don't get what you want out of the precinct, write a letter to the commissioner on village stationery, and I guarantee you, you'll get a better response.
Yeah, we're going to have a bus ride and take everybody to the library at the next meeting. No, it's very frustrating. Again, the 3 of us went, so it's not just me being going to treat me like crap. These guys went too, and, you know, Bill was trying to be the good guy. Pat and I were the bad guys, so he was playing the good guy, and they yesed him to death, and what happened? Nothing. So, you know, Bill is a fireman, so, you know, we should have some respect for the uniforms, but, you know, Chris?
Just some things I've been noticing. On the boat,
Hey, just a reminder, you're supposed to say your name and address, please, for Nicole, or she'll yell at me later.
Chris Pace, Lebo.
What's that? You say when I'm talking, I'm making noise?
Anyone else?
Good.
In regards to,
Chris Pace.
Good result.
Chris Pace, 506 North Windsor.
Thank you.
We've got DoorDash people, Uber Eats, delivery trucks. They're parking on the wrong sides of the road. Right? And then they come out into traffic. So, I guess it was 2 weeks ago, some guy, he was literally inches behind my car. And I said, you know, that guy's a jerk. And I see him blow the stop sign at the park. I said, you know what, I'm going to follow this guy. He goes to 3 stop signs, makes a right on Orinoco, goes around Mama Santina's, comes out the wrong way of the one way, goes to the light, goes down Union, makes a left on one of the West Islip streets, blows two stop signs.
I hope you weren't chasing them on the boat.
No, it was in my car. I actually have a car. And he winds up, he's a DoorDash delivery guy.
What can you do?
Exactly. What can you do?
Don't use these services in the village.
I mean, that's
Add
what,
your Amazon deliveries to your Amazon day.
I mean, there's
Traffic is everywhere.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. There's many different things. But in regards to speeding and blowing stop signs around the lakes, I'm seeing the same people do it almost every day. I mean, I can tell you what cars they are. The same people drive fast. It seems like the same people are late for work. It would be nice if we started from within. And speaking of that, to slow people down. So there's 5,000 people that go past North Windsor. That's where the park is, where the camp is. Let's just say 20% excessively speeding. And that's a conservative number. That means 1,000 people speed on North Windsor every day. Would you please tell me? Siri, stop listening to me. Would you please tell me the plan for when speed humps are planned for North Windsor?
We just received the traffic study last
I
week, Chris.
understand.
Now we
I
have the
understand.
numbers, now we can go forward with what we're gonna do. I'm not gonna tell you right now, next month or next week. We have to go through an organized way so that we're getting things done the right way. Now that we have the numbers, if I would have told you 6 months ago there were 2,000 cars on North Windsor, you would have said, okay, there's 2,000 cars on North Windsor. That's not the number. The number is 5,000 cars. So now
But
we
actually,
have
the
numbers.
number doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's relative. The most traffic that we have in the village is North Windsor. That's it. It's all relative. So we didn't need the eyeball test. The eyeball test tells you that, right?
We can't go by eyeball test.
Well, now the eyeball test and
Chris, we're gonna move forward. We'd be happy to go forward. Right now, we're proposing the 2 stop signs for next month. Hopefully next month, we're gonna propose traffic speed tables on North Windsor. I know on the traffic study preliminary, you had a bunch of work on Lombardi that they had picked up that they want us to do, that they're recommending. So, as soon as we dive into this, we'll start doing it.
is any money allocated for this?
No.
This year's budget.
No, we'll have to go into the mattress,
We do have a reserve.
Nicole's mattress.
Yeah.
No, we're good with reserve. Before, everybody wanted me to drain the reserve so we didn't break the tax cap. Okay? We went to the reserve so that I'm paying $24 less a year in taxes, and we take the money out of the reserve, then I go to buy speed humps, and I'm going to tell you, no, I save myself $24, there's no money in the reserve, so you're not getting your speed humps. So we have to look at the whole picture all the time. When we do the budget, it's based on the needs of the residents and not just this tax cap that people in Albany come up with. So always, again, we're in a pretty good position, but we have to maintain that. We painted the bridges this year. The guy came in, $2,500, boom, boom.
They look great.
That's good for a couple of years now. We have to maintain all the things that we've done. So again, we close our eyes on some things, but we had the governor's rep was here last week. They're looking to, I'm not going to say pay everybody off, but they're looking to give people money for different things. So we had them looking at the salt storage building. So we were going to try to pay for that ourselves, but now we might be getting money from them. So hopefully she's going to come down, take a picture, and say, look, thank you very much, and go on. I'll take the 50, 60 grand. I'm fine with that. But it's just, we have to, always watch and move forward. We won the boat. The boat was $100,000, but it's still what it's supposed to do. So,
Follow up on that, please.
one more question.
I know that it's come up before, and we're waiting for more striping. Are we going to get crosswalks?
We're going to do your crosswalk from, even though there's no sidewalks there, if you want to see that crosswalk, we'll be happy to give you the crosswalk next time.
Just that and what you're saying before in regards to Madonna Santina says that's a perfect place for a crosswalk as well.
Yeah, one of the recommendations on the traffic study is a stop sign there on the crosswalk. So we'll probably even lose a parking spot on the street, so it's more visibility. And it's gonna take people getting used to those stop signs.
Yes.
One more, Chris.
Have we looked into what Union does, where they have those red areas, where at every intersection, there's an area where you can't park. If we had that at the four corners, so that you cannot park around there, because, you know, to see, to get around, we've got landscaping trucks coming through, people still don't understand what a blinking red light is and a blinking, whatever the other color is. And if you're coming on Orinoco, you don't know, if you're new to the village, that the other place, you know, through traffic, right? Just like the people that are at new apartments, they're not using the one way. They're coming around the, you know, the wrong way and the one way, and making the easier way. Because so my bicycle, and I asked someone, and she said, yeah, I know. Because it's easier to go that.
What are you saying, they're going the wrong way and the one way?
Yes.
Again, we're not in charge of people's driver's ed. You know, if they don't know how to drive their car, or don't know that the person on the right has the right of way, there's nothing I'm going to do about it. We can't fix stupid. It's not. Joe's in charge of fixing stupid. That's your job.
But we may have a sign or something that hangs down from the light that says.
We'll get some more one-way signs over there. I know we desperately need it because there's people do it there every day. I saw a pickup truck there doing it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mark Molly, South Bay Avenue. These speed humps, where are they going? On the route?
Service road.
Service
Road where Montauk Highway,
by the
Bay Shore,
houses.
Brightwaters connect to each other. There's a straight run.
Yeah.
And people were speeding. The people were speeding even before we fixed the road. So now they're even going worse. It's not up by Southwood Ho. It's where it runs into Woodland. It's just one big long straightaway. They're going to just try two of them on for now and see what happens. On one side, there's a lot of driveways from Bradish, the Bradish people.
Yep.
Yeah, so they're there, and we have Brightwaters things too, but there's a lot of Bay Shore driveways on there. So we'll try the humps. You know, we're going to put the signs on telephone poles already. We've got it picked out. And as soon as Mike has 2 minutes, he'll do it. So, but we don't know whether these kids on these motorbikes are going to love this now. Now they're going to go to where the speed humps are so they can jump, right?
Oh, they keep on the service.
So, you know, we've got to watch what we wish for, you know? So, anybody else? John?
Napoleon, I mean, if you guys don't know me, I'm John Marr. I've been here for 23 years in the code department, the overnight guy that's being replaced by the security. So I have a question, and lots of questions, but if you guys would prefer to humor me after the meeting for some of my questions, I have no problem with that. Main question is, what is the security company supposed to do? Because residents are going to be asking what is their role, and I've already spoken to one security guy from the company. He asked me if he knows what I'm supposed to be doing, what he's supposed to be doing. And I said, I have no idea.
Well, right now, there's a changeover, John. You're there at night and they're there at night. They're a retired police officer or current police officers. There aren't, and their job is to be proactive. When we get their reports, they send us the reports of all the residents that they spoke to that night, if they were walking the streets, or if they stopped somebody, or if they chased the homeless guys away out of town. Okay, so they're being proactive and trying to look for problems, not reactive problems. So we're going to try these guys. They're highly recommended from other people. And again, I was hesitant about doing it, but we're going to give it a shot. Right now, you know, again, there's been no reports of any cars going in 2 weeks. Is it because of these guys? No, I don't know. But right now, there have been no reports from any residents about that. Their job is proactive. I get a GPS thing that they're moving constantly the whole time. So again, we checked into them. They're over at, you know, some local places. They're up at Flower Hill. I think they did a couple C-Clip they're doing. So they are up there. So again, we're going to try them. They have their own cars. We don't have to wear and tear on our cars. So yeah, we'll give them a shot. You guys have been there for years. You guys are our overnights. You know, you gave the tickets, but anytime, as far as a deterrent, we feel these guys might be better. Okay? If you want to sit and talk to us, we'd be happy to sit and talk to you.
If you wouldn't mind.
Okay. Just call Nicole. We'll come in at any time. All right?
Joe Burris, 216 Lakeview Avenue East. John, are they, do they know the ordinances of the village?
Right now, they're going from our codes. Their whole thing is really parking overnight. As far as code violations, that's what they're supposed to be doing. Existing what the guys were doing, right?
So you guys, they hand out tickets?
Yes, they can hand out tickets also. All right? The whole idea with these guys, Joe, is to be proactive. Last night when we got the report, there was like 8 people that they spoke to during their tour. If they see somebody even walking a dog along the street, they stop. Apparently they stop and just say, how you doing, where you from, and we're new. So they are being proactive. The thought of keeping the second people on overnight for the month of July is during the boats, people see a presence, that there's always someone around. Again, it's a learning curve. There are some issues. We have gate issues. We have to try to coordinate things a little better, but I think it's going to come in time. Anybody else?
My name is Kyle Bissick. I'm from the Aviation Fire Department. I just wanted to come out and thank the village for allowing us to use your facilities for our run. We have a discount code for any resident that wants to run. We can share with you guys and send out to residents.
Jody's going to run.
In charge of fire, rescue, and police.
I meant you were running. It was
No,
Tom's job.
You're not running, not swimming, that's...
So Kyle, we'll start sending your, I know you gave us a flyer, so we'll email something out tomorrow, and we'll do it a couple of times before the event. When the fire department has an event, they show up with everything in the kitchen sink, and they clean up everything, and 2 hours after they're gone, you would never know they're there. So they do a tremendous job, and we're happy to have their event in the summertime. Once again, we'll just keep telling our residents, it's only an hour, so, I think it works out pretty well. Anybody else?
Carl Fraser, 514 Richmond Boulevard. On a lighter note, I don't know if people are aware, but our mayor is being honored by the local YMCA at our golf outing on July 21st, 2 Mondays from today. And everyone, all are invited to participate in terms of first, providing sponsorship donations. We need, I say we, because I'm on the board of managers of the local YMCA. And we are looking for sponsors to assist students or families who have hardship situations to send their kids to camp. There are a number of families in Bayshore who cannot afford camp fees for their children. This golf outing is being used to raise funds to do just that. So if you cannot donate in terms of sponsorship, certainly you can attend the after golf outing party. There's a get-together dinner, and there's where Mayor Baldini will be fully honored, and a lot of good things are going to be said. I've been to these outings for many years, so I know what to expect. And certainly, Mayor Baldini has deserved that status of being an honoree of the golf outing this year on July 21st. Again, everyone is invited to participate in some way, in some form, so that we can assist students, children in our Bayshore community, Bright Waters community, who cannot afford camp, to be able to go to camp and enjoy social events.
Thank you, Carl. I appreciate that.
Where's it at?
Southport Golf Golf. There's information available at the YMCA, and also, I believe, Deputy Mayor Fawcett has information to share.
Great. Thank you, Carl. Anybody else?
George Milstead, 436 Richland Boulevard. I was just wondering, going back to the poison ivy removal and treatment, are you relying on reports of areas? Because down at Gilbert, they cleared a small area of brush that was between the beach and the main lawn area. And that's, well, all of the weeds that were up like 3 feet high are knocked down, but now it's evident that there's a coating of poison ivy in that area. So,
Was this at Gilbert Park?
yeah.
It's probably operations for
That's right, right? I'll have them check down there also.
Also, it's along the fence where the cars park.
Okay, when you walk in the gate at the bottom of Windsor, along that fence there, or more toward where the water company is?
Shore Drive.
Yeah, all along that
All
fence.
on Shore Drive.
Oh, yeah. And anybody else?
Amy Kirk, 29 South Bay Avenue. Several of the Walker Beach residents would like to discuss the removal or control of the invasive reeds in the basin area. They actually obstruct the view of the bay, which is really sad. But I know you're short-handed and all that, and I don't know what the board would allow, but if you don't have any other resolutions, several residents would be willing to form like a volunteer committee that would annually just cut them down. Or I don't know if that's allowed, or if you could.
Are these the Phragmites down there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just getting worse, and upon talking to some of the other neighbors, they're like, oh, I know, I mean, they're just getting worse, and the village isn't, really, you're just overwhelmed, so.
We could take a look, you know what those are, right by the
Yeah, it's right by
sailboat
the
there?
tracks, sailboat, yeah.
Yeah.
That's invasive species that can be cut down.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it would take that much manpower. I mean, I know that there's a few people that would be willing to do it if it's legal.
We're going to do it, we'll do it ourselves. It's not much to do. Maybe we can even tie it in with the landscape guys when they're down there. All right, I'll take a look at it with Mike tomorrow. Amy, thank you.
Amy, if you want to volunteer, we'll take the volunteer.
Thank you. I'll do it.
Coffee and cake.
I'm going to get involved with the garden club, so maybe they can do it.
Absolutely. We'll always take volunteers.
Anybody else? What?
Did you see these all in the village?
Yeah, it was a real estate company advertising. They put American flags in it. I thought that was nice. Okay, thank you. Anybody else? All right, I make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. Thank you.